Hello, class, and welcome to week 3. Our quote this week comes from Clint Smith, and I actually included his TED Talk in the classroom this week. I know you all have a ton of things to do, but this TED Talk is about 4.5 minutes long. It's one of my most favorite TED Talks, and in this TED Talk, Clint Smith talks about the danger of silence. And he does so from the perspective of his classroom working with inner city youths. And so he says on his chalkboard or on his whiteboard, he has 4 core principles that he asks his children or his students to live by during the course of their academic time with him. And that's read critically, write consciously, speak clearly, and tell your truth. I think those are 4 very important core principles, and so every time I teach this class, I try to bring that lesson into the classroom, and I do so really in a spirit of just being very humble and appreciative of each of you for all of your hard work in week 1. You know, looking at your own otherness, and especially the assignments that you had to do for week 2 in terms of thinking about your biases, this is not easy work. It's not very easy to hold up a mirror to yourself and really do some deep self-examination. And many of you just hit the ground running in this class doing just that. And so thank you for that. And recognizing, that we all have things that, have probably made us feel less than, left out, etc. And you all did not hesitate or did not shy away from speaking to those, parts of yourself. Please forgive me because I was remiss. I didn't share my experiences of otherness with you. And so very briefly, just letting you know, I grew up in the rural South. My dad's a missionary Baptist preacher. And so I didn't want to go into the ministry, as most of my family did, so automatically that made me other. I grew up somewhat overweight. That made me feel other. And then finally, as I got older in my 20s, I began to question my sexuality. And so these were 3 very distinct times in my life when I felt other, when I felt outside of, less than, etc., and actually really began a journey that I had to take for self-acceptance and self-love. And so thank you all for sharing your otherness journeys, and I thought that I would share mine with you. This week you're going to be looking at another case analysis. I was very heartened and very just appreciative of your hard work with Jeanette. Many of you spoke to the sentence where she talked about feeling touch deprived. Many of you were able to highlight the experiences she had as a child, being bullied, and how her parents probably didn't meet her needs as well as they could have. Just encouraging her to pray when prayers only help so much, Jeanette said. And so I was really struck by your empathy for her, and I ask that you extend that same empathy this week to Pari. Now, her situation is different from Jeanette's, but that doesn't mean that, you can't put on your critical thinking cap and really see from a multicultural, empathic lens what Pari might be dealing with and going through. So that is our work this week. You have to read Chapter 2 and Chapter 8 in your textbook. Chapter 2 has some phenomenal little snippets of case studies that really get you thinking critically about what's going on with the clients. So this is week 3. I look forward to grading your week 2. Let me know if you have any questions or concerns. Thanks.